So a foreign worker who was a truck driver had a big fatal crash, and it caused um, Secretary of State Marco Rubio to come out and say, hey, we're going to review whether truckers should have visas and whether they're undercutting U.S. workers. Um, this is an interesting um, development. I think it's like a knee-jerk reaction, makes a lot of sense, right? But for a lot of visa types, there is not a piece of it where it's a labor market test. There's not a piece of it where you have to say, hey, did we try to find U.S. workers and we couldn't? I think that's a little known fact about employment-based immigration. For example, for an H-1B job, the company does not have to look for U.S. workers and does not have to justify why it's giving a job to a foreign candidate over a U.S. worker. Now, that's in contrast to labor certification for permanent jobs for a green card, where they absolutely do have to go through a labor market test, unless we're in one of those few exceptions. But in general, the labor market test for labor certification, the point is to say, hey, we had a job. It was kind of hard to fill. We did this recruitment. We didn't get a qualified U.S. worker, so we're going to offer it to a foreign worker. And oftentimes that foreign worker is someone who already works for that organization in a non-immigrant status, but they still have to be subject to this process and see if the company can replace them with a U.S. worker before proceeding with green card sponsorship. So it kind of seems to me like there's some hunger for this. This is an idea that, undercutting American workers is creeping into the mainstream more and more. And I wonder, it would really need to be Congress who changes the rules. But I would think if they could get their act together and legislate, it would be something that I would expect in this era. They would say, hey, Americans first. That would be my expectation for reform should it come.